All right, I'm gonna be running Mörk Borg in about 5 hours. So let's kitbash a mini. "7 feet tall, built like a grizzly, sooty, bald, and covered in tattoos, carrying a red hot flail." This is the description of the big bad at the end of the Rot Black Sludge, Fletcher the Cannibal Warlock, who I will be making today, if that weren't clear. First thing we gotta do is figure out what I'm gonna make him out of. Okay, for the body, I'm thinking this guy got kind of a He-Man vibe going on, but I think we can grime him up a little bit. Okay. This is literally the only flail that I have, so this is what we're gonna be using. The hardest part of this is going to be finding a bald head. Okay, so I think I found one that works. This, like, gremlin creature has a bald head and is also holding a skull, so I think that's what I'm gonna have Fletcher's other hand doing. Yeah, let's get to it.
Alright, so the first thing I'm going to need to do is clip off a bunch of these bits. For this one right here, like I said, I'm going to be using the hand and the head, and, ooh.
Okay, so I lost Fletcher's head, somewhere in this. So, I found it. It took me literally half an hour, so we gotta get moving.
And we're back to bashing. Thankfully the back of his hair kind of blends in with the fur of his cloak. So I didn't really have to worry about cleaning that up, which is nice because that would have sucked. Right here I'm realizing that my glue has dried shut, so I had to go get a pen to like clear out the little nozzle area. But then after that I get the hand with the skull glued on, and I think that looks pretty good. Here I'm just clipping off some of that long He-Man hair that was like flowing over his pecs. So got that nice and cleaned up, and then added the head on. Next I'm just cutting off the weapon to replace with the flail. Here you can see I'm kind of playing around with like exactly which position I want it in. I ended up settling with having it sort of floating over his head.
Okay, so I realized he's got this little like lion insignia on his like belt loincloth area, which I don't know, just didn't feel very cannibal warlocky to me. So I'm gonna look through these Frostgrave cultists and see what bits they got for me. I think I'm gonna use this shield as like a big kind of belt buckle thing. And then I was also thinking about using these bits here. It's like little bones and daggers and stuff, and just like also attaching that to his belt to be creepy.
And this is what he's looking like all bashed together. What a handsome man.
Okay, the last thing that I need to do is take this base off so that I can give him a better one. All right, now that that's done, I think I'm gonna use some little pieces of this like cork sheet that I have to make some little bricks for like a dungeon floor base.
And that's exactly what I did. I cut up a bunch of little cork rectangles, which you can see here, and then I glued them all onto the base with some sand. I crumbled some of the little cork bricks up so that it looked kind of ruined and decrepit. And then this is what he looks like glued onto the base. Really happy with how that turned out.
Welcome to the alcove outside my apartment where I prime all my minis.
Now that he's all primed, it's time to get into painting. I'm gonna be honest, I hate painting. I'm not very good at it. Here I'm just doing like some base coat colors, some browns. I do some gray for the skin. That's really about it.
All right, so Mörk Borg has a lot of this really cool, like, hot pink incorporated throughout it. So I was thinking, what if instead of having his red hot flail be red hot, we made it hot pink hot? I don't know if that's gonna look good, but we're gonna see what happens.
The hot pink paint that I have is not very opaque. So first I coated it in this light pink, which has a lot more opacity to it, and then went over that with the hot pink, which you can see here. And this is for reference, the paint that I used. After that had mostly dried, I went in with that light pink from earlier and I painted all of the spikes pink, as well as going in and painting the tattoo details on him. After that, I went in with just some white to paint the very, very tips of those spikes and to go in with the whites of his eyes.
All right, now that the flail is done, I think it looks all right. The final thing that I'm gonna do, I think, is slap a bunch of this rust tone wash on him, everywhere except for the flail, and hope that looks good. Okay, so it's been about 1 minute, and the contrast paint, the rust contrast, ended up being a lot more yellow than I was hoping. So I'm also gonna add some of this Sigvald Burgundy contrast paint, but like watered down a little bit, to hopefully bring out a little bit more like red and pink. And we're gonna see how that goes. We're experimenting.
And this is how he ended up looking. I went in with that hot pink from earlier to add some highlights for some implied lighting from the flail. In the end, I think I'm pretty happy with how this guy turned out. He's definitely not perfect, he's a little choppy, he's not gonna win any golden demons, but I think that's okay. If you enjoyed this random little hobby vlog, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube things. I'll probably make more, and I'll see you when I see you.